Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dawn Sterling.
And I'm Stacey Skryzak. When tragedy strikes, first responders are first on the scene.
Firefighters say it can be a tough job, something that's front and center after 4 children were killed at the Why Not Outdoors after-school program in Chatham.
Now, 1 week after that deadly accident rattled the Chatham community, we sat down with Chatham Fire Department to find out what went on behind the scenes.
News Channel 20's Emily Jordan joins us live with the details. Emily?
Assistant Chief Joe Boletta told me for firefighters, it's like a switch gets flipped, but it can be hard to return to a scene after it's passed.
You can be having sleepless nights, you can be having nightmares, you can have all these things that happen that you think about and relive these tragedies and relive these critical calls. And if you don't have an outlet, it changes you, and it doesn't change you for the good.
Boletta says it can be easy to file traumatic events away. He says he's done it himself before. Boletta says he's learned that he needs to feel his emotions to move through them. Boletta's making sure that message makes it to his team. He says Chatham firefighters are leaning on each other to heal. Reporting live in Chatham, I'm Emily Jordan. Back to you.
Thank you, Emily. Multiple agencies responded to the scene in Chatham, including the Springfield Fire Department, Illinois State Police, and the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office.
Well, the funerals for the 3 remaining victims of the Chatham tragedy will take place this week. Visitation for Riley Britton began today at 3 and will continue until 7 this evening. There's another visitation scheduled for tomorrow. That one's followed by the funeral, which takes place at 11 a.m. Her family says donations can be made to the Why Not Outdoors program. Catherine Corley's visitation will be on Wednesday at 4 p.m., beginning with a prayer service. The visitation will go until 7 p.m. Catherine will then have her service Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Affectionately nicknamed Kit Kat, her family remembers her as an old soul known for her kindness. And a celebration of life will be held for Alma on Saturday beginning at noon. Guests are encouraged to wear pink or purple in honor of Alma. Donations can be made to the CASE Project or the Alma Bunner-Kempe Memorial Fund at the SIU School of Medicine. All of the funeral arrangement information is up on our website. Well, the community of Chatham is still reeling from tragedy. Just 1 week ago, 4 lives were lost. As people find ways to honor the victims, Chatham Strong has reached far beyond the Springfield area. Now, these are the 8 and under Chatham Braves at a baseball tournament in Beardstown over the weekend. Some of the team attends the after-school program that was the site of the crash. According to parents, when the boys arrived, they were welcomed with open arms. The opposing team had T-shirts made that said Chatham Strong and gave gifts to the Braves team. This extraordinary sportsmanship, just one of the many ways people are showing support. You can see from teams like this, the girls 10 and under grind sporting red ribbon shirts, to hundreds of people joining for a Chatham Strong CrossFit over the weekend. For more information on ways you can give back and honor those victims, you can head over to our website, newschannel20.com. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Skryzak.
And I'm Dawn Sterling. It has now been 1 week since the community of Chatham was shaken to its core following the deadly crash at the Why Not Outdoors after-school program.
4 children were killed, 6 others injured when a vehicle crashed into the building, with the investigation into the crash still going on at this time.
Several different teams of first responders were on the scene of that deadly Chatham crash, and now we're catching up with some of how they're responding after they responded to that day.
Yeah, News Channel 20's Emily Jordan joins us live now with how the Chatham Fire Department's working to cope with this tragedy. Emily?
I sat down with Assistant Chief Joe Boletta, who was at the scene on the day of the crash. He says since then, the fire department has held multiple debriefs for firefighters, giving them space to grieve.
The aftermath is where it becomes very, very difficult. Thinking about, there's a lot of, did I do everything right? Did I do the proper treatment? Did I make the right call on which patient went to the hospital first?
Boletta says they're not in the right mindset, it makes it more dangerous to do their jobs, and resources help to keep them afloat. Boletta told me first responders are like a family, and by leaning on each other through grief and trauma, Boletta says his team is starting to heal. Reporting live in Chatham, I'm Emily Jordan. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Now, multiple agencies responded to the scene in Chatham, including the Springfield Fire Department and Illinois State Police. ISP is in charge of the investigation. They say they are still waiting on toxicology reports for the driver, Marianne Ankers. They did confirm the 44-year-old did not have drugs or alcohol in her system at the time of the crash. According to her lawyer, Ankers suffered a seizure, and that caused her to crash.
3 of the girls will be laid to rest this week. Visitation is tonight for Riley Britton. The 18-year-old's funeral is scheduled for tomorrow. 7-year-old Catherine Corley's funeral is Thursday, and 7-year-old Alma Bremerkamper is on Saturday. Now, first to be laid to rest was Ainsley Johnson. Family and friends gathered last Friday in Springfield to say goodbye to 8-year-old. And don't forget, you can get the latest updates on the crash investigation and how Chatham is coming together both on air and on our website, newschannel20.com. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Dawn Sterling. When tragedy strikes, first responders are the first on the scene. Firefighters say it can be tough, something that is front and center after 4 children were killed at the Why Not After School program in Chatham just last week. Now, 1 week after that deadly crash rattled the Chatham community, our Emily Jordan sat down with the Chatham Fire Department to find out what went on behind the scenes.
Assistant Chief Joe Boletta told me for firefighters, it's like a switch gets flipped, but it can be hard to return to a scene after it's passed.
The aftermath is where it becomes very, very difficult. Thinking about, there's a lot of, did I do everything right? Did I do the proper treatment? Did I make the right call on which patient went to the hospital first?
Boletta says it can be easy to file traumatic events away. He says he's done it himself before. Boletta says that he needs to feel his emotions to move through them. Boletta's making sure that message makes it to his team. He says Chatham firefighters are leaning on each other to heal. I'm Emily Jordan. Back to you.
Emily, thanks, Emily. Multiple agencies responded to the scene in Chatham, including the Springfield Fire Department, Illinois State Police, and the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office. ISP is in charge of this investigation, and they say it's still waiting on official toxicology reports for the driver, Marianne Ankers. They did confirm the 44-year-old did not have drugs or alcohol in her system at the time of the crash. And according to her lawyer, Ankers suffered a seizure, and that caused her to crash. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.